Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. So in the previous video we have discussed about types of components which are class component, function component, pure component and higher order component. In this video let's discuss about props, state management and hooks, and what is the difference between export and export to default. So for that I am going to create a function component with the name of calc. Now I want to return a HTML block. So here let's add this one, and I'm exporting this calc function component. So first let's see the props, how we set these props, how we access this props one from other component. We have to pass this props property in the function parameters. This parameter, so it is expecting now props parameter. It's a this props will contain a number of properties where we can pass from another component. So we already exported the new component in the calc, so I'm updating this import. So now I want to pass two variables from here, so num1 and num2. These are going to set the values. So how we calculate now? So this method, this function is now expecting props where we are already passing this num1 and num2 in another component. For example, see if I remove this properties, you will see the error that it is not expecting any property type or parameter. So this is how we declare the props actually. So let's see how we use this props now. To set the result, I'm setting result and set result. By using useState, I'm setting the result. Now I would like to call a add function. So let me add the result first. Okay, now this result is being shown in the label. So let's see. Here I have the result, and we are importing the properties from other component, but how we when we need to call this addition. First let's create a add method, set result props.num1 plus props.num2. Now this addition method is ready, but when we have to call this is when the component is going to render, we have to call at that time. So for that we have to use useEffect hook. So this useEffect hook is used to fetch the details while dependency is changed, and also if we are giving empty dependency, this will load while this component is rendering. Okay, let's create this one. So I'm giving a dependency list as empty because we want to load this add method while the component is getting rendered. So this dependency list I will discuss later, how we add the dependency. For example, like when we change something in another value, something over here, when we add something, a text box over here, from the text box we are changing the actual value of num1. When it is changed, we have to calculate the addition again. So like that we can use the dependency. Let me first check normal way without dependency in the page load. So this project is already running, so you can see that result is already came here. We added 10 and 20, and we are calculating num1 and num2. We are doing addition num1 and num2. So if you reload this one, it will again fetch the details. So this is how we call the properties. Now let's check the dependency, how it get changed. For example, I have now num1. We already have num1 property over there, but I would like to set num1 num2 again here. When the text box is initially, the value will be 30, result will be 30, but when I change this value from text box, it should reflect. So here let me add a break. So it is value num1 and value num2, also setting with set num2 and set num1. So we are setting the target value. So in the dependency list, we have to add the dependency now. So this method is getting called automatically when the component is getting rendered, but when you change the dependency also, it should change. So num1 and num2. So if so here what we say is, if num1 and num2 is 0, then follow this initial calculation, else set result equals to num1 plus num2. Now let's see how it is getting changed. So initially the result is 30. When I change, it is changing 45. So if I add this 20 over here, it is getting keep on changing. When I change it, it is automatically getting changed. The trigger is firing based on the dependency list. So this is how we manage the state using useState and useEffect. So now we already discussed what is props and how we use the props inside the component, and we already discussed how we use useState and useEffect. Now we are clear with useEffect and useState. So let's see another hooks. Okay, now we have already covered properties and state management and two hooks, which are useState and useEffect. So we have a few other hooks also, is useRef, use context and use reducer, use memo, and use callback. So as of now, let's see these three hooks where we already covered useState and useEffect, but let's see the useRef now. These other four hooks we can cover in the advanced topics when we get the actual usage. So let me import the useRef hook first. After importing, you can see here it is stating that useRef returns a mutable reference object whose current property is initialized to the past argument. So whenever we create an object, whenever we use that inside the DOM elements, when we manipulate it to different values, we have to trigger a submit. Then the user object will get changed with updated values. So let me remove this code and I'll create one user object for that, any type of object. Now user name, email. So these are the details I have provided in the user object. So let's add this HTML elements for these two name and email types. For default value will be initial one, user dot current dot name. Okay, so now whenever we change that value, it should change to user dot current dot name equals to e dot target dot value. Okay, so similarly for email. So here we have to change it to email. Now let me add a button to reflect the user object when we change. Okay, I'm creating a submit button. Whenever the user clicks on this button, it logs in console. Okay, so now let's see how it will work. So now the username and user email is already came here. So whenever we submit, the actual result is submitted and logged here. When I change this value to testing, and email is also testing@gmail.com, so this is getting changed, testing2, and so this is how we manipulate the data. So you can see that details are coming here, modified details are coming in the user object. So this is how we use the useRef. Okay, now let's see what is the difference between export and export default. So when we export it as a component, we have to export with export default keyword. So when we exporting as a function, we have to use only export. Likewise, so this is a function component, that's why we are exporting with export default app. So any tsx file or any component should have only one export default. If we are trying to create one more export default, it will not accept. Let me create a function to export in to use in another function, which is doing add, so which is expecting num1 is number, num2 is also number. Now just return this num1 plus num2. So we have to export this now as export. So if you are trying to do export to default, again add, so it will throw the error. You can see that the module cannot have multiple default exports. So let me export as a function. Okay, now we can import that function over here. So from app I am importing this function, so you can observe the change in import also. So when we are importing as a component, we are importing only without braces. When we are importing as a function, we are importing inside using inside brace. Okay, now let's call this add method in the load. useEffect. So I am giving empty dependency which will load while render. Now I would like to assign this result to a variable and this logging in console. Now let's see how it is getting imported. Okay, I'll do one thing, I'll remove this other code. see. Okay, testing exports is there. Now let's see in the inspect element. Let's go to console. Now let's add some text over here. You can see this exports result is came while loading. So this is how we use export and export default.